Welcome to some new r/MaliciousCompliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. If you would like to support this channel, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you enjoy the content. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called Retail Craziness. Many moons ago, I worked in a department store. It was a weekend contract gig while I was at university. It had departments for a variety of things, and for no particular reason I ended up in the basement on home wares. No grumbles from me. Money, even if it is minimum wage, is money. Work was easy and my team was awesome. First week there, I recall someone saying, "Retail would be great if it wasn't for the customers." I was saddened. What a morose mentality to have for the place you spend most of your working week. It took me a few years to figure out it was 100% true. The amazing customers absolutely do not outnumber or overshadow the monsters. One thing in retail I didn't realize was how amazingly helpful a good memory is. And believe me, back then especially, I had a phenomenal memory. We had to type in the section codes and prices into a printer for barcodes and place them on the stock. I very quickly got a reputation. Most people would remember the specialty codes. They were 15 digits long. That is still good. A few seasoned without us with manager name tags would remember a few other specialty codes. I had them memorized for the entire basement, 7 departments and hundreds of codes. They were formulaic per department, so once you remembered each department's formula, you just had the last 4 digits per the section. After a while of being noted for this, I got moved from the cook shop into home care electricals. Do you think a good memory is helpful for printing labels? I was like a walking thesaurus on that. I didn't gloat, but colleagues would use me often. Quicker to get me than go into the office and check the catalog or Google something. Warranty info, user specs, power ratings and maintenance routines. All of it. And I enjoyed the prestige. I wasn't a jerk about it. I happened to be perfectly positioned to excel in this because of my memory. I would gladly help out people rather than salespeople them if I could. That 900-pound machine, what would you use it for? Yeah, you can get that from this 100-pound machine instead. I didn't get a commission, and I brought return customers who liked me helping them. People liked a passionate teenage man helping them with all of the knowledge I could muster. One day, a woman came in. This was the 2000s, but by today's standards, a Karen. Instant hatred of everything and everyone. My job is to help customers, so her distaste for existence and pleasure for misery really mattered not at all. She is picking up various generator irons on the shelf, inspecting them and looking out of her depth. These things can be used at home, and some of the models we stocked you could use professionally. They started at expensive and went up to crazy money. It was pretty normal. I would have to go through all of the specs for customers. If you are going to part with 249 pounds for an iron, you want to know what you are getting for your money. I get it. So I walk over to help her. "Anything I can help you with today, madam?" She looks at me like I'm a fart that has just gotten into an elevator with her. I want to buy an iron. Way to state the obvious, but the customer is always right. So I smile and go on. "What type of iron are you looking for? Are you using it at home or professionally?" "It is for me to use. I'm the woman of the household." Now, the way she stressed woman wasn't a grab at her lot in life. It was more like when someone reminded you this is their turf, their specialty, their baby. Hey, no problem by me. I'll see if I can help with that. No problem at all. This model here is normally used commercially and you cannot access the water tank. Since it generates such a lot of pressure, you have to buy these gas-drop cartridges to prevent limescale buildup. Otherwise, the machine can break and won't be covered by your warranty. The benefit is the dry steam boost function for doing dresses, curtains, etc. without soaking them. By comparison, this one has a cartridge water chamber, which is easier to manage. However, yeah, can you get me a woman? Perplexed, I wondered what I said wrong. I needn't wait long to find out. She saw the look on my face and went on. "It is just, a woman really gets these things. You clearly wouldn't know." I'm chanting in my head. Customer is always right, and managing my breathing to stay composed. "No problem, madam. Allow me to get my colleague Doreen to help you then." Now, the department was built around a big pillar. Irons on the east face. Vacuums on the south and west face. Till and accessories on the north face. So I walked around the corner to the till and got Doreen to go help this delightful woman who decided I didn't know what I was talking about. I headed around to the west face to cover vacuums. Not 2 minutes later, I hear Doreen heading towards me, saying, "Honestly, you need my colleague. They are the absolute expert on irons and they know so much more about them than me. They will be able to find you the perfect iron." That woman's face as she realized it was me she was being brought to as the expert on irons was priceless. She fumbled a quick question on her unit to justify coming back to me, and then quickly hit the escalator to get away from the awkwardness she had generated. The next story is called "There are plenty of other teams." At the time, I worked on an on-site desktop support team of about 13 people. These are your IT guys that typically wander around your workplace and go fix your computer in person. I had done this job for about a year before 2020 hit. Then it hits, and of course 95% of my job's workforce is either moved to entirely remote work or a hybrid schedule. Now, what does that mean for a primarily on-site second-tier IT support team? Well, for one, it means that a lot of our workload shifted to remote work. Secondly, it means that if something did need on-hand support, we'd need to schedule that user to come into the office. And thirdly, it means that a lot of larger projects come to a grinding halt. Now, transitioning our workforce of thousands to remote work on a dime was for all intents and purposes a nightmare. We had to distribute thousands of laptops amidst multiple supply chain breakdowns and teach our pretty aged workforce how to use VPNs. Needless to say, we absolutely rocked it despite all the hurdles. We spent a year plus managing hybrid schedules. Basically, for that entire time period, each one of us was on site at least 2 full days a week and then coming in for an hour or 2 at a time for appointment with users, if they didn't fit into our normal days. This worked out for everyone. Almost none of our users were ever regularly on site. We always had 2 to 3 people in the office at any given time for emergencies. And we smashed through ticket queues. Our team was heaped with praise on all sides. But this wouldn't be a malicious compliance story if that was the case. Now would it? So, after having rocked support IT during 2020 and receiving praise from every department, Manglement remembers a project that we've been putting off. Lifecycle Replacement, LCR. Lifecycle Replacement is the fancy IT term for replacing computers when they get too old. We were supposed to start a massive LCR right before 2020, but due to some rather ridiculous moves on the part of Manglement, they dissolved the lifecycle team into desktop IT. It got delayed. Now they are in full panic mode and demanding massive quotas of LCRs are completed each week. Despite 2 mitigating factors, we are not receiving enough computers in the first place to meet those quotas. And it's hard to force masses of employees who've had a taste of work-life balance to come into the office to replace a whole computer with their whole working lives on them. So quotas are not being met, and Manglement is beginning to sweat because their bosses are wondering why this thing that was supposed to be finished a year ago is barely even starting. Manglement decides that clearly desktop is to blame, and thus sends out an edict that we are all to be on site 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, or else. Now, unfortunately, our whole team had gotten used to not having to pay for parking downtown every day, and we had realized that if the whole rest of the workforce is still working remotely, that our being in an empty building every day was completely pointless. We voiced our concern to our supervisor, who, being the dutiful mouthpiece of our mangler, immediately set up a meeting with the whole team and themselves. The meeting went a little like this. So, we are a little confused about this edict you've sent out, that we have to be on site a full day every day. You guys have been praising our hard work throughout the pandemic, and I think we've shown that we can responsibly manage hybrid schedules. With people moving back into offices, we've determined there's a greater need to have your team on site. And with the ticket backlog, we need to make sure the manpower is there to support the staff. But the backlog is due to us not having the equipment to distribute to the employees, as well as the majority of employees still working off-site. There's nobody around for us to regularly support. Well, unfortunately, these positions were always meant to be on-site positions. So, will you and supervisor be on site all week as our main line of support? Our job positions don't necessitate us to be on site, so we'll be coming in as needed. To address your point about ticket counts, I wanted to point out that I put completed tickets for April pre-2020 and April during 2020. We actually completed more tickets working a hybrid schedule. Look, this was always meant to be an on-site position. If you don't like it, then there are plenty of other teams who offer remote work. So, if we don't want to pay for gas and parking downtown every day, we are free to find other positions in the company that fit our needs better. If you want to discuss this further, then you can schedule a time to meet with me when I'm in the office next Wednesday. Needless to say, the entire team was furious. We had rocked 2020, been told how efficient we were, and then were being punished because Manglement didn't want to explain to their bosses the concept of supply chain issues. I immediately began searching for another position in my company, and very quickly found one that utilized some of my more niche skills with a very cool supervisor. I have ended up in a job where I have carte blanche to run as I see fit because I'm the only person with the necessary experience to do so. But it doesn't end there. Throughout 2020, our team had been whittled down to maybe 9 of the original 13 people. Once I left, that left 8. 3 more followed suit and joined the remote helpdesk team, leaving 5 original team members. Manglement decided at the time, since the primary focus was LCRs, that they could just hire a bunch of low-paid interns to fill in the empty spots. Now, the second whammy to this whole shebang is that recently our union had a new contract coming up, and Manglement apparently didn't take much time to read the new contract, because the contract forbids using interns to do the work of full-position union members. So now the desktop team consists of 5 original full IT employees and 5 interns who are only allowed to image computers. The ticket queue still has tickets from June. The last story is called Don't Make the New Order. Yesterday I was looking for something easy for dinner and found the nearest pizza from a small building. I ordered a large Canadian pizza for pickup, and the person on the phone confirmed the location in my phone before telling me I could pick it up in 30 minutes. At no point was the price mentioned in this exchange. I had specifically ordered this because I was looking at their website and saw they had a large banner on their site that stated they had specific types of large pizzas for $16.99. On arrival at the Red Roof Pizza from a small building location, I went inside to pick it up. That will be $27.67. I'm sorry, I thought your website mentioned this large pizza for $16.99. Sorry, we don't offer that price over the phone. It's online only. Me? Planning my compliance? I'm sorry. You are telling me that if I call in, my pizza is almost double the cost as ordering online? Sorry, the details are on the poster behind you, and you can see the small print in the corner that says online only. The details were, as promised, in very small print on a very large poster. Throughout this, she had been holding the pizza out toward me, waiting for me to take it after paying. I admit I could have been a bit more polite, but I was a bit hangry and grumpy and just wanted to eat my pizza for the advertised price. I turned abruptly away and left her with the pizza. I walked back to the rating area and pulled out my phone, placing an online order for the same pizza I had ordered over the phone. I refused to make eye contact, but watched her quizzically looking at me, still holding my pizza. She turned to put it down, but glanced at her computer, presumably seeing the notification for the same order, under the same name, with the same cell phone number. She looked from my screen to me, where I sat looking at my phone, watching her out of the corner of my eye. I'd like to think this was our pizza standoff. Our duel of wits. Our respective slices of stubbornness. After a few drawn-out seconds, she called me back up. Okay, you can pay for your pizza now. The total comes to $17.83. I pay in cash and they handed me the same pizza they had been holding the whole time. The pepperoni on the pizza, icing on the cake, was hearing them call into the kitchen just before I walked out. Don't make the new order for the large Canadian. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories in today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and want to support me, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.